Well, welcome back, everyone. Once again, all participants are in listen-only mode, and the chat's your friend. Thanks, you guys, for using it. Share your thoughts there and ask your questions. This session, along with all the others, is being recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing. Kimsey Tran-Gilmer is a brokerage director for MassMutual Capital District in Vienna, Virginia. And as a U.S. Army veteran herself, Kimsey knows firsthand why insurance and financial advisors should market to the military community and how to do it. Learning basic military lingo and acronyms, for instance, can help you sell to this market. With some great ideas and thoughts on how marketing to veterans fits into a DEI mission, here's Kimsey Tran-Gilmer.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I am just super ecstatic to be here. I mean, why not be super excited to be able to connect with other like-minded professionals in this industry, and for you to take time out of your day to attend this session. Thank you. First, I want to do a shout out to all my advisors and all the financial advisors in the industry that are veterans. So thank you for your service. And also, if you're an attendee and you have family that served in the past or currently serving, thank you for their service. Before I jump into sharing with you the top 5 ideas to serve, prospect, and market to active military veterans, I know you can't wait for this because it will be so good. I want to give you some good context as to why. Why should we focus on serving, prospecting, and market to our military families? You see, my life journey started here, and it started with the military. But prior to joining the service, I had a very humbling childhood. I was the youngest of 5 children. My mother was a single mom and immigrated to the United States. We were sponsored by a church organization, and we found ourselves in the smack of Portland, Oregon. No English, with no family or friends. And like many other hardworking families, we worked really hard and studied extremely hard and integrated ourselves into the community. I only missed a couple of grades short of becoming one of the valedictorians in high school, and went on self-funded to attend a very good private school. It was called the University of Portland, where I went to college my first year. Well, after completing my first year at UP, it was during the summer and I was waiting to start my sophomore year. One day I walked past a recruiting station and all was history. Basically, I was sold on the opportunity to live in Europe and a $5,000 bonus. Sign here. So I still laugh thinking about it because I was book smart, but obviously I wasn't very street smart. I mean, 5,000 was a lot of money, and I basically signed my life away. I had to learn very fast how to integrate into the military culture. So here's your first tip. You want to write this down. Tip number 1. If you're going to work with the military, active duty, and our veterans, you need to speak their language. The next time you're conversing with active duty service members, veteran, or guardsmen, instead of asking them, what did you do in the military? Take that conversation to the next level by asking them, what's your MOS? MOS stands for Military Occupation Code. You know where in sales it's important to mirror your client's body language. Well, when working with service members, learn and try to speak in acronyms. And the first one you need to know is MOS. Military Occupation Code. My military occupation, or MOS, is, you're going to laugh, but 63 whiskey. So basically, I was a Humvee mechanic and other military vehicles, including the big Deuce and a Half, which is a 2.5 ton cargo truck. Because of my size, my mechanic friends love to have me work on the electrical wiring because I can get into certain spots and use my hands. And while they would have had a harder time getting into those cramped places. So please do not ask me to fix your vehicle because I really intend to keep my manicures on for a very long time. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yes, tip number 1 is know your acronyms. Here is some acronyms you should know. So the MOS, like I said, is for the Army and Marine. This is their military occupation code. What do they do for the living? For the Air Force, it is the AFSC, Air Force Specialty Codes. And then for the Navy, it is NEC, Navy Enlisted Classification. When getting to know your military, prospective clients, have them open up about their background. What did they do and what type of training did they go through? Sound intelligent by asking acronyms because this is part of our identity. It will demonstrate that you are familiar with this niche market and interested in learning about what they have been through. So what happens after boot camp is the occupation and specialty training, and this is where you learn your trade. Here is some other important acronyms that you should know. DD 214 is the proof of military service document. So when someone leaves service, it's like their passport. They need to have this identity piece of document because it will record all of their awards and accolades, their time in service. And this is the piece of document that they need to have to apply for benefits or employment. PDS is a great one, permanent duty station. So instead of saying, where are you based out of? You say, where are you PDSing to? Or where's your PDS? ETS is estimated time of separation. ETS is the time of separation, but I want you to write this down, 120 days. This is a very important number that we will talk about later on when you use to help service members with their life insurance. SGLI is the Service Members Group Life Insurance, which we will touch base a little bit later. Here's a fun one, AWOL. I bet you guys know this. AWOL is absent without leave. You never want to do this because you can get in really big trouble if you disappear from your duties. And can anyone guess what a latrine is? Because I've cleaned a few of these during my time in Iraq, and it was not a very pleasant job. Okay. So back to my life story. Here's a picture when we had to come out to Norway for about a 3-month exercise. And here's a picture of our team getting on a helicopter. I think this was a Black Hawk, which is a 4-bladed 2-engine used by the Army units for tactical transport missions. And then here's another one of us getting on. I have so many stories to share, but for the sake of time, I'll just tell you that I ended up living in Germany, Mannheim, Germany, for about 2.5 years and spent every bit of that $5,000 sign-on bonus in my first month. Was deployed to Iraq in 2003 under the Operation Iraqi Freedom Mission and completed my commitment in Savannah, Georgia. So 8 years ago, I married a wonderful man named David. David is in his 26th year in the service and currently serving as the Aircraft Maintenance Superintendent at Andrews Joint Air Force Base right outside of DC. I think that he's going to actually finish his career here and hopefully go to the next one within the government system. So super proud of David and his commitment with his team here. And this is my family here today. Our family is everything that breeds DEI. So we are a completely diverse family. You have a small town country boy from Mississippi, a very smart, educated, and professional Asian mom, and an African American / Asian kid. He's a teenager. So that leads me to tip number 2. You have to self-promote. If you don't, no one will know that you work in this niche market. I mean, if you don't talk about it, and if your website doesn't display it, if your social media isn't showing it, if you don't have testimonials and reviews and referrals, then how else will people know you as a financial advisor, specializing and working with the military service members and helping service members with all their financial needs? I am never apologetic about self-promoting, because after all, you all are running a business and you have great financial products, service, and solutions that you can provide. You have the expertise and the knowledge that most people don't have, and you need to be always promoting it at all times. So here is tip number 3. Understand the opportunity. Why market to military members? Simply because the military market is huge. It's made up of approximately 37 service members with 1.2 trillion in buying power. Here you can see that for active duty, 1.3 million active duty with a average household income of almost $75,000. Veterans make up of 20 million veterans, and they spend about $43.6 billion. The reservist National Guard members, these are 1 weekend a month service members that also hold civilian jobs. In most cases, they make up nearly 450,000. And then you have registered dependents and military families, and they make up 1 million of military spouse and spend 51 billion annually. I mean, they're not all taken care of, and that might be the perception, but basically, they need your help, and they have a lot of money that they're putting out there. So if it's not you, it's going to go to another agency or company. So make sure you ask them for the business and promote yourself in this community. So here is, it is important to immerse your brand in the military communities, and it is a highly effective way to reach military members and their families. So tip number 4, I like to call it set up camp. You can participate in local events, sponsor a booth, place an ad in the local newsletter, chamber, church, nonprofit organization. Find out if there's a Veterans Day event near you, and if there's a local charity or a small business that focus on military issues. Get involved, partner up with other small businesses, show up, show your involvement, show who you are and that you care, and then the connections will start to flow. An interesting statistic is that 76% of the military community say they learn about service and products and promotions through word of mouth. Military members have close-knit social connections. Many people know within the same circle. So therefore, you should pay special attention to the power of word of mouth. Isn't that true for our business? Is that referrals is like the #1 source for leads? Members of the military community have strong bonds and trust and each other's opinions. So that's why when marketing to the military, it is essential that your conversations and offers and promotions are thoughtful and generous. There are military bases all around you. So Fort Stewart in Savannah, Georgia, Fort Lewis in Washington State, Andrews right outside of DC, and many other military installations as shown on this map. So why not promote outside financial services to this community? Because they need you. And I'm going to show you why they need you on the next slide. So get ready. Okay, so tip number 5 is work with your service members on converting their group term insurance. SGLI is a service members group life insurance. And did you know that the service members have up to 400,000 in term life insurance? There's different levels they could buy into it, but basically they cap out at 400. So take my family situation for an example. We are a 2-income household, have an extremely expensive mortgage, car debt, credit card debt, private school tuition, a teenager, 2 dogs, and a bearded dragon that we feed constantly. So if God forbid if something was to happen, that 400,000 will not last for very long. So maybe a couple of years. So David and I each bought additional life insurance outside of the military to protect our family's income and cover that financial gap. This is your opportunity as a financial advisor. Service members, active duty or not, need your help and need your expertise. Did you also know that you can convert SGLI coverage? Service members covered under the SGLI program have the option to convert their group life into a individual policy with a outside carrier within 120 days from the date of separation from the military. So in order to convert SGLI conversion, the service member need to select a company from this list here on the screen, apply to a local sales office, that's you. And this is important. If you plan to convert to a Mass Mutual whole life policy, work with your brokerage director, they're awesome. Or contact me right after the session, and if you're not already appointed with us. We will need the copy of his or her separation document, like the DD 214 that we talked about earlier, or the NGB 22, and a copy of the last leave and earning statements. So service members can convert their coverage to a commercial policy at standard premium rates without having to provide proof of underwriting or health standing. So the conversion, though, must be a permanent policy, such as a whole life policy. And this is also important, okay? This is why you need to work with a Mass Mutual brokerage director because we have one of the top whole life product portfolios in the marketplace. Other types of policies, such as term, variable life, universal life insurance, are not allowed as part of the conversion. So in addition, like riders, like supplemental policy benefits, accidental rider, waiver premium disability are not considered part of the conversion. So you're just basically doing the base death benefit conversion. There's a lot more information online, and I'm happy to provide you with more after the session. But I just wanted to give you some basic main details that you can take advantage of this and help the people around you. Please contact me after a session and I will help you with your prospective cases. So here is tip number 6. It's promoting your business through social media outreach, because you already know there's a big opportunity that we can totally help the service members. So now it's about promoting your business, and really any business, right? But especially ours. So when you're trying to reach your target audience, like military members, with your company's products and services, social media is a free and effective tool. I won't give you a class today on how to run your social media effectively, but what I will share is that like any other marketing efforts, you will want to have a genuine, relevant content and consistent messaging. So be sure to use appropriate hashtags in like hashtag military couple, hashtag military mom, hashtag military brat, hashtag veterans, hashtag DC National Guard, hashtag tuition assistance, hashtag GI Bill. Look up the top hashtags for your topic and start including 8 to 15 hashtags in each post. I think in Instagram you can get up to like 30, but you can start with the 8 to 15. It's very easy for you to just put it on with each post. But accounts that use hashtags gain a 12.6% increase in engagement. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to brand, right? So here's another tip. If you haven't leveraged social media to brand you, your business, products, and services, then you're truly missing the boat. Make it simple by scheduling 30 minutes in the morning of each day to post on LinkedIn and Instagram. Create a business Facebook page and connect it to your Instagram, and then have your website link on there. So what you're trying to do is increase community engagement and presence, and convert those virtual conversations or connections into phone and in-person conversations. So you don't have to be an expert at all 5 social media platforms. Just pick 3. It is essential that you have social media marketing triangle, like your website, Instagram, and Facebook. Connect those 3 and just work to make sure that all your websites and all your social media are linked at all times. If you don't have this set up, you need to make it happen. Huh? All right. So I told you this presentation is super good, right? Here is tip number 7, a bonus for you. I'm sharing with you my top 2 marketing tools when creating content for our social media. First is Canva. Canva is a graphic design platform that I use to personalize my flyers, messages, social media posts, presentations, etc. There's so many things you can do with Canva. It's really neat design tool. And another great tool is Animoto, which is a free online video maker. Nowadays, when you're trying to stand out and be more creative, you don't have to hire a graphic artist or social media expert. All you need to do is have a burning desire to learn and change up your social media marketing efforts. The whole idea is to self-promote, and in turn, you can promote others. So you can see these 2 tools online, but you can use the free version or upgrade to a pro version for an extra cost and have access to more features. Last month or a few months ago, I had a brokerage director in our same company, and like she recorded herself saying happy birthday to me. And it was like the coolest thing, because it's a video that you can record and send to your clients. This really differentiates yourself in the industry. So here is, last fall, I started a photography business in which I do photography work on the weekends, and specializing in portraits, personal branding, and lifestyle portraits. So I started 2 new Instagram. One is to showcase my photography work, and the other one is to share my creative ideas, tips, and tricks with the world. So if you want to check out these after the session, feel free to find me on Instagram. You will see how I use both Canva and Animoto videos in these 2 tools to help with the aesthetic looks of my Instagram. And really, you can use these tools for anything to promote your financial planning business. And I would highly suggest that you have those, capture when you're out and about with clients, or when you're doing charity work, or when you're volunteering, when you're attending a meeting. You want to create that social following and make a presence. So in closing, if you have taken some good notes and learned some fun acronyms to use and some marketing ideas, most importantly, I hope you are inspired to work with our military members, because there's such a great opportunity, and set up camp around us. Go set up camp. get involved, connect with others, promote yourself so that you can promote with others around you. My business model, whether it's the brokerage or the photography, it's all about inspiring, empowering, and elevating first ourselves, then we can take care of others, right? Because we got to inspire and motivate and elevate us first. And then we will have the energy to create that energy with other people. So, but it starts with you and it starts with me. So my family and I are currently in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area for about 2 years now. And this is a great picture of the boys. David giving Jaden a little history lesson. We're both deeply grateful to be connected with our military communities, but I'm also grateful for the opportunity to spend the last 16 years serving our clients, brokers, and advisors in the financial services industry. I also want you to know that I wasn't a college dropout for very long. I ended up using my post 9/11 GI Bill to obtain my bachelor's and master's. And actually, David is one step behind me. He's working on his master's when I'm already got my master's. But I must say, the best education that I ever received was from working side by side with financial advisors and clients such as yourself. So thank you. Whether you are in the DMV area or not, please connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, or give me a call. I'd love to meet. And again, my name is Kinsey Tran-Gilmer, Brokerage Director with Mass Mutual. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.
Thank you so much for your service, Kimsey. And I notice you're a Peloton person. That's awesome. Thank you also for those incredible acronyms, so many of which we've adopted into the fabric of our daily lives and didn't even notice it, right? It's your fantastic insights on the facts and opportunities of the veterans market, as well as tips to help serve a community dedicated to serving all of us. So thanks so much, Kimsey. Since we're focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, I actually want to share the honor I've had relative to veterans. You know, I had the honor of serving as chair of the board of Go for Broke National Education Center. And that's a national nonprofit. If you don't know Go for Broke National Education Center, check it out. It's a national nonprofit that shares the voices and legacy of the American veterans of Japanese ancestry who served in the 442nd. I don't know that you know about the 442nd, but they're the most decorated unit in the history of American military for its size and duration. And what the organization does is it captures their voices to help shape better values in us all. The 442nd actually, whose battle cry was "Go for Broke." So if you ever use the saying "Go for Broke," you now know where it comes from. Like Kimsey's acronyms they were of the segregated units of World War II. And, you know, World War II, you think of our military, you think of America. I don't think of the segregation when I think of our military, but sure enough, we segregated units in World War II. And they served alongside with the Navajo Code Talkers, the Tuskegee Airmen. I might miss some, and I'm sorry if I do. Buffalo Soldiers, the Filipino Infantry Regiment. And they're all fighting, you know, for their rights as U.S. citizens, even at a time that our own United States was calling people of my community and their families non-aliens, even though they're citizens, and incarcerating their families, the families of those that were fighting for our country behind barbed wire in desolate lands across the United States. So DEI continuously evolves, even in the military, and how we as advisors help them too, as we learned from Kimsey. Thanks so much. Now let's take another moment to ease the eyes. We got a long one right now. So you get to do what you got to do, right? You got about 30 minutes, a little less than 30 minutes. I like to come a little early on so you don't miss any tidbits of wisdom and awesomeness. And be back here just before 2 o'clock Eastern to once again join our partners at ACLI as they discuss their economic empowerment and racial equity initiative, and how their work is helping to change the financial services industry for the better.